Hey, this is Rushan again, going through the last three. The last Santos was really quick. I figured go through the last of the ones I designed. So I did the community speaker badge. I already soldered it together, but it's pretty simple because it's an A-Tiny that you programmed at the conference. If not, the code should be released on the GitHub for SAINTCON soon. The little piezoelectric speaker. This goes in. I liked it at flash, but it does limit where you can put it in the board. And then the on-off switch. This one's fairly simple, and I won't really show you how to solder that one together. Let's go on to the next one is the Vault. The Vault one had a ball bearing switch in it that made it turn on and off, and is one of my favorites to do. To make, depending on how you put the ball bearing switch on, it's either always on or always off until you move. So we'll go through this. Just prep that. And we're going to solder on the back first, which are 343 ohm resistors. So if I grab this right, it will go, I can open up my resistors. And then after this one, I will do the hardware hacking mini badge, community mini badge. Always fun opening up and losing all your resistors. There's the third. Okay. As always, when I do with SMDs, I always like to put down solder on one of the pads. And always retin my tip. Whenever I solder, I always like to keep my iron at about 350 degrees Celsius. You can do it a little bit lower, but I wouldn't really do it any higher for leaded solder. Okay. Actually, probably through this. I'm gonna wait to put on that last. And then when you look here, there's a little tiny divot. If you go in with the short lathe through the square peg, this will always be on when it goes. So I'm going to do it this way because it's my favorite way of doing it. And this one you'll need some wire cutters to trim up the leads on the back of this ball bearing switch. And if it's not quite square set, get it up a bit. There we go. So that looks pretty good. So let's trim those leads. And this one, the door goes on the left. When doing it, a few people might have accidentally installed it upside down. Let's just take these on. We'll hit the LEDs in a sec. Okay. That looks pretty good. We're going to hold off on the LEDs for a second as we move to the hardware hacking community mini badge here, which is an LED tester. And with it, it came with 2 transistors and 2 resistors. Unfortunately, I made both resistors the same size package, even though they're different values, so it can be a little difficult to understand which goes which. Let's first prep these for soldering. And they didn't do a good coating on this. It should have done the gold coloring, which was on the prototype. Makes it easier to test LEDs with than this coating, because this one has a little bit of tin over it. So it's a little bit harder to understand which way goes which. To test it makes it flicker a lot more and harder to get a good connection than how the prototype was. I'm just getting all the parts ready, and let's see if I can pull my So this one had that gold finish, makes testing LEDs a lot easier. As you can tell, the R1 is 330 and R2 is 102. On this, makes it for a good test. So R1 is the 330. There. R2 is the 102. Make sure those are on. Pretty secure. Okay. the transistors. They are kind of a pain to deal with at times. Quite have to be perfect. All you have to do is make sure all the legs get on the pad right. Let's solder this one together. Make sure those pads connect to each of those pins. And then touch up the initial pin. They all look pretty good. Okay. Same rule of thumb. It's always good to have the mini badge holder nearby to finish soldering on the rest. With this one, you might actually need to scuff up these pads a little to make sure that they'll be able to light up LEDs. So as we took that, we can turn on the boards. Notice that it doesn't do anything, so we'll open up these LEDs for the vault here. Let me grab one. As you can see, there's one negative pad on the bottom left, and if it goes together right, it should light up. You get the orientation right. Probably won't work for me right now. As it doesn't always work well. Through a hole. It goes opposite of many of my designs with the short one going through the square. Let's see if this will work for us. Of course. Not the best continuity with these leads. Can't sad. Of course, it might not have enough power through USB. Let's have it light up. Just a little sad. I'm not being able to test it well right now for some reason. We'll get on to pull out the prototype. The other covering, it will probably work perfect. Or not at all. Probably need badge power for this to work. Okay, speaker. Okay, so you can tell it's working. It needs the badge power. It won't run off of the USB power, unfortunately. As you can tell, not the best connections, but it works as a wonderful LED tester. So you can figure out which way it goes. So that showed that the little green dots go to ground. You can tell in the prototype, all the green goes up towards the top of the badge. So let's pull the Vault mini badge back. In to get it finished. And as you can tell, not everything works as you hoped. I was hoping the USB power for this little add-on board would power the LED tester well, and it does not. The other way is, if you aren't sure, is that you can always turn your mini badge on when in doubt of orientation. The LEDs are on the top, at least. always get sticky onto your tweezers. Don't want it to work nicely. As you can tell, you can test that you did it right. And we'll continue and finish putting these on. Okay. Take that one on. And then we'll get this last LED on. Nice thing is I oriented them all the same way, so it would be easier to install. Okay, this looks pretty good. Turn it on, and there you go. That's the vault. So I did it so it's like a fault. So as it gets disturbed, the vault lights would flash. And if you flip that ball bearing switch to the other side, it will be mainly off until it moves. So it'd be more like this upside down, and it will flicker a little bit less. And that's the guide to the rest of the mini badges I designed other than the SFD challenge. That will come another day. Thanks for watching. Bye.